This episode is brought to you by the Laganitas Brewing Company's Chicago Taproom and Beer Sanctuary. Come for fresh beer, live music, and killer food Wednesdays through Sundays, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Bring your group and hop on a brewery tour 7 days a week. Swing by the Lagunitas Taproom in Pilsen or find some near you at Laganitas.com. Life is uncertain. Don't sip. Life is uncertain.
The
Shining. It is a time of 1970s destitution for the down-on-their-luck family of the Torrances. Jack Torrance, the former English teacher father, sometime playwright, needs a job desperately to fund his family. Stay-at-home mom, Wendy, and the psychically sensitive boy, Danny. Jack heads to a job interview, but will he make it, or will he wind up not getting the job?
Smash wipe to a helicopter shot. The mountains of... Is it Colorado, where, Overlook
Colorado.
Hotel? The mountains of Colorado, we see a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, which seems unsuited for this rugged... Hello? Hey! Hey, get out of the way, you piece of shit!
But I gotta get all this kindling up the mountain to the hotel. It gets awful cold here in the winters, don't you know?
Move out of the way, man. I gotta get to the Overlook Hotel with my pregnant wife and son.
Oh, you must be that newcomer seeking a job at the Overlook. Don't mind me. I'm just the lumber conductor driving my train on the country road.
You're giving yourself airs, man. You're just a wood jockey.
Oh.
The heartbroken pulp technician pulls his truck forward and continues through the winding Colorado mountain roads as the Beetle pulls off into an imposing, some might say menacing, gigantic hotel.
Yes.
Overlooking the mountain pass.
The mountain pass.
Smash wipe! The lobby of the Overlook Hotel.
We see a gigantic title in white that says, The Interview, in case you didn't know that this interview scene was about to take place.
If there's one thing that, what's his name who directed this?
Stanely Kubrick.
If there's one thing Stanley Kubrick likes, it's taking shortcuts. So he just says, this is a job interview, and then doesn't bother to do any set dressing. Or he's like, just pretend like there's a job interview happening here.
I think Kubrick was trained in the silent movie era. So he's like, we need title cards to say, like, a chase ensues.
I see. Okay. Yeah, so we got to do this classy like Stanley Kubrick did.
Okay. Hey there, tits. My name's Jack Torrance, and I'm here for a job interview. Why don't you just show me to the manager's office at the Overlook Hotel? Says the, like devilishly grinning Jack Nicholson, who's being, like, weirdly, like, we're conspiratorial, we're both in on the same joke here, like, devilish grin to everyone in his vicinity.
Ah, yes, Mr. Torrance, come in. We're so pleased that you could join us here at the Overlook Hotel.
Well, as you know, is it Mr. Ullman, manager?
That's me, the old man, Mr. Oldman, is what they call me. Although, it doesn't stop me from having my way with whichever of the household maids. I think we're both gentlemen of the world, Mr. Torrance.
I think I catch your drift, sir, Jack Nicholson says, winking like nonstop at Mr. Ullman.
Mr. Ullman winks back, and then his eye sticks for a moment as he tries to reopen it.
Flash cut to the Torrance family kitchen. Back down at a regular altitude, we see Wendy Torrance, Jack's wife and the mother of their son, Danny Torrance. Wendy is that lady who played Olive Oil in the live-action Popeye movie with Robin Williams.
Shelley Duvall was in Fairy Tale Theater, which you've probably seen.
Not me.
Well,
I was born in 1998.
No, you weren't.
I'm young and fresh and cool.
Sharp-eyed listeners who had basic cable growing up will have seen Shelley Duvall in every episode playing a different character in Fairy Tale Theater.
Oh.
A wink. Let me share that with you guys, people that grew up in the... Only 90s kids will understand Shelley Duvall.
Anyway, enough of this shit. Danny is just like a weird little quiet, intense young man. He's eating breakfast. And he turns to his mother. Mom, are we really gonna live in a hotel for the whole winter?
Yeah, champ, won't that be fun?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. Danny, are you not excited to go live in a big hotel that we'll have all to ourselves for the whole winter?
Well, there aren't any other kids there, and there's a finite amount of children's literature that I'll have at my disposal.
Danny...
Also, you know who thinks it's a bad idea.
Tony, why do you not want to go up and live in the mountains of Colorado for the weekend?
Danny crooks his index finger and wiggles it as though it's some sort of proxy speaker and speaks like a real fucking creep to his mother as quote-unquote Tony. Hey! Nobody wants to live in a fucking hotel all winter, bada boosh.
Tony, now watch your language. We don't allow that at the breakfast table.
Ah. Danny pulls out a tiny cigarette and places it against his fingerprint.
Tony, are you sure? There's going to be probably a lot of old broken pipes and machinery for you to get your hands dirty fixing them.
Yeah, speaking of old pipes and machinery, I think I gotta go to the proctologist, you know what I'm saying?
All right, well, why don't we finish our breakfast and then we can talk about it later.
2 steaks! 2 steaks for Tony!
How about a bowl of Cheerios for Tony?
How about a fucking highball?
Don't you fucking mouth back to me, you piece of shit. Smash wipe! Mr. Ullman's office.
So as you can see, this is my collection of dust.
Yeah,
Anyway.
so I'm wondering, Mr. Ullman, if we couldn't get down to brass tacks, nuts and bolts here, as intriguing as this collection of dust is.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Ullman shuffles across the room, pulls out an ornate drawer, and shows Jack all of his brass tacks. He pulls open another one filled with nuts and bolts.
Pretty exciting, no?
I think perhaps there's been an amusing miscommunication here, Mr. Ullman.
Miscommunication, you get in here.
What is it?
I'll tell you a secret, Mr. Torrance. She's the only one whose bottom I don't try to grab.
Am I needed in here or what? I was over here cataloging the moth eggs and sneaking half of them in my mouth as snacks.
Oh, boy. No, you're released for the winter.
All right, I'm just gonna fly out this window like a bat.
Miscommunication unfurls her beautiful butterfly wings and ascends.
Oh, shit like that's happening all the time in this hotel.
Jeez Louise, Mr. Ullman, it seems like you need a man here of staunch character in order to put up with all the goings-on.
That is exactly what we are looking for, Mr. Torrance. Now, if I could, I'd like to outline the duties of your job. As you know, Colorado gets cold, and the Overlook Hotel seems to get colder than anywhere else in the continental U.S., It's a giant sort of ice pentagram forms on the campus. I don't know why. Anyway, so we need a groundskeeper to prevent Old Mother Winter from squeezing the hotel beneath her hoary tits.
Yeah, now the guy that put me onto this job, The guy that put me onto this job said that there was a recent vacancy due to the early retirement of the previous groundskeeper.
Oh, Mr. Ullman tugs at his collar. Funny story, that. Well, maybe I should just act it out for you with these hand puppets. It'll make the medicine go down a bit easier. We see Mr. Ullman, incredibly dexterous with his hands for a man of his years, bring out a puppet of Grady, the old groundskeeper, his bald puppet pate shining in the window's glare. Grady clutches his head as though it is filled with awful thoughts. He looks his dead puppet eyes at the small puppet family, the two identical twin daughters, and the mother, and he pulls out a felt axe. Oh no! Ullman sweats and hurts his arms with the dexterity of a great craftsman as he...
Tiny grunts escape from his flapping lips as he maneuvers his fingers into ever-increasing and more complex patterns.
This ballet of betrayal and death as the Grady puppet chases down and axes each of his progeny unto death.
The tiny Grady puppet takes out like a perfect scale model of a shotgun at 1/100th scale, puts it in his tiny puppet mouth and pulls the trigger, blowing the end of Ullman's thumb off.
Oh! Jack Torrance, who noticed a small and uncomfortably close to his crotch ink stain, has been just staring right down there, trying to scrape it out. Finally turns back to Mr. Ullman. What was that? What happened exactly?
No matter. Just working through some things of my own, I suppose. Anyway.
We're just workshopping at this stage.
Look at my Patreon. For $10 a month, you get a finger puppet of your own to star in any of my stories, Mr. Torrance.
Yeah, enough of this fairy tale theater. Mr. Ullman, be straight with me. Do I got the job or not?
The pay is $20 a day in 1970s money.
Oh my God. That's not ink in my pants anymore. It's money.
Smash wipe? That statement is unexplained and is one of the great mysteries of the Shining film.
And one of the great mysteries of Muff Movies.
Interior, the Torrance house's bathroom. Danny stands looking into the mirror, looking at his little bowl-cut boy's face. After a moment, he holds up his finger to speak to his old pal Tony.
Tony, why don't you want to live in the Overlook Hotel?
I don't really feel like talking about it to you there, Big D. I got a reason or two to keep hush-hush about it.
How can you have secrets from me? You live inside my mouth.
Well, yeah, that's true. All right, look, hold my feet to the fire over this fucking...
We are one flesh as man and wife.
Wait, Richard Dreyfuss, what are you doing in the bathtub?
You'll never catch me. We all float down here.
Oh, Jesus.
Dreyfuss pulls the plug and swirls down the open drain, making eye contact with Danny the whole time.
Anyway, Tony, you were saying that you're finally willing to explain to me why you don't want us to go to the Overlook after some tacit resistance?
Yeah, but gosh, you know I ain't good with words. How about I just shows you? Come over here, kid.
Maybe better I could just show you.
Tony guides Danny's eyes into the toilet and flushes it. As the swirling
not
water...
again, Tony.
No, kid, this is gonna be a different thing. Look.
As the swirling waters hypnotize Danny into a lulled state.
Oh. Suddenly, Danny has a vision from later in the movie of elevators opening up and rich, iron-filled blood fortifies the entire lobby of a hotel as it spills like a river out of the elevator doors. Danny sees his own face acting like it's screaming. I mean, what are you going to do? He's like a 5-year-old actor.
Yeah, he's not very good. Hey, kid.
Danny's on the floor. What is it, Tony, before I lose consciousness?
Well, what is this? The fourth Thursday of the month when my ex-wife is home. Hey!
Smash cut.
Worth it.
Danny's bedroom. Danny is lying on his bed with his little bare legs. I don't know why. His little bare legs stretched out in front of him, and a lady doctor is examining him physically.
Boy, I don't know what I'm doing here.
It's okay, Danny. Just tell me exactly everything you remember before you had the seizure.
Well, I was talking to Tony, who is the Italian man that lives inside my mouth, and he was telling me about his ex-wife.
Okay, that's enough. Smash cut. Living room of the Torrance family. We see Wendy sitting on the couch and speaking confidentially with the lady doctor.
What is
Wendy,
it, doctor? Yes, what were you saying?
Wendy, as your son's pediatrician, I should tell you, it's real bad for people's health to smoke as much as you do.
Well, if you had a husband and son like mine, maybe you'd see things differently.
Okay, anyway, look, your boy, Danny, is physically fine. I mean,
good.
I mean, fine.
Whoa.
But psychologically, how should I put this?
Well, it's 1970, so that's about the extent of psychological research we've gotten to. Oh, boy, should I be worried about it?
Yeah. How long has he been talking with Tony?
Oh, I don't know. Only about 3 or 4 months, ever since Jack Torrance, my famous writer husband, who's basically perfect.
Who?
Jack Torrance?
Wait, Jack Nicholson?
What's my husband's first name?
It's Jack.
You piece of shit.
I was just trying to make it like the doctor is, she hasn't heard of Jack, and Wendy is like, what do you call that? What do you call that syndrome where you love your kidnapper?
Munchausen syndrome.
Thank you.
Jack Torrance, the famous drunk author. He wrote the story about the dog Brujo and the girl Sherry, and then there was the one about the haunted car called Haunted Car 2: The Return.
Yeah.
Surely you've
okay.
heard of him. He's a very talented author.
Well, first of all, my name's not Shirley, and also...
Wow, deep cut.
Speaking about deep cuts, it looks to me as though your boy's arm is, I don't know, sort of out of joint. Whoa, the doctor backs up.
Yeah, he and Jack were playing, and it's like one time, and you know how boys can be boys, and Jack broke Danny's arm, and Danny tried to break, was laughing.
Sure. And
we have fun.
Why did Jack break his arm?
They were horsing around, and Jack had like a bottle of whiskey, and he's a tortured author who wrote Under the Chome and
Under the Chome.
Anyway, he's just misunderstood, but he's a very good man.
Okay. So is he still drinking?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Okay, that's gonna set up some tension if he's not drinking anymore.
Wendy's eyes immediately widen and start darting around the room. She looks at her notes.
She adjusts her chair so that it is now in front of a half-drunk bottle of Dewar's.
No, Jack Nicholson is not drinking anymore.
I beg to differ, says Jack Nicholson on his way to his trailer. Smash cut. Mountain Road. The Torrance family is driving up the mountain road, so sinuous and windy and precarious even in the broad daylight, to the Overlook Hotel. Wendy is staring at the isolation of this environment.
Now, Wendy, you're gonna love it, babe. There's all sorts of stuff up here. There's snow drifts. There's hedge mazes. Do you like axes?
Well, I mean, we haven't established really anything that I like.
And I hope we never do, babe.
Hey, isn't this like where the Donner Party happened?
What's the Donner Party?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Wendy. Okay, hey, Dano. You know how sometimes you go out with your friends and you get caught in traffic?
No.
Well, fucking shut up.
I'm a really bookish kid, Dad. I don't have a lot of friends or a driver's license. I just got this crooked arm.
All right, enough about that fucking... Just one time. It was one time! Anyway, Jack swerves maliciously into the left lane, spooking the lumber driver off the road. Oh! He crashes into the tiny Weeble Wobble village set in the town below.
Finally, we can continue construction on Webertown. Kill the interloper.
Oh, no!
Anyway, yeah, so a bunch of these people went up into the mountains and, well, they got snowed in and decided that they wanted to eat each other, Danny, buddy, boy.
You're talking about cannibalism?
How'd a kid like you learn a big word like that?
I learned it from TV.
Hey, you've been watching the right shows, kiddo. Jack Nicholson clutches the steering wheel and fingers a switchblade knife.
Smash cut. The lobby of the Overlook Hotel. This spacious, shining example of horrible 1970s decorating is just a right angular trip through luxury. We see all sorts of stained glass windows very high up, letting in tons of light with all sorts of Native American iconography on them.
Yes, and this is our historical wall of atrocities over here. This
Wow. I've never even seen a room this big, let alone been in one.
I don't suppose you have, Mrs. Torrance. This is, if you don't mind my saying so, a little above your pay grade. Did you know that Oscar Wilde slept here?
Who? Never mind her. Jack Nicholson pushes Wendy into the unused fireplace. Oof! Oh, clumsy me.
Now that woman is out of the way, shall we talk as men, Mr. Torrance?
Nothing I'd rather do, Oldman. I mean, Oldman.
Old man, that's what they call me. Yeah, but don't think that stopped me from dipping my wick right before you got here. Can barely keep my eyes open right now, if you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Torrance.
I understand perfectly. We see an artisanal candle hanging out of Mr. Ullman's pants.
Smash wipe!
The game room! Young Danny is pulling darts out of a dartboard, aiming carefully and throwing them. Oh, what an awful time to be a child.
Oh, we do the best we can, Danny says quietly to himself.
Yoo-hoo!
What? Danny turns and sees two identical twin girls dressed in matching sky blue, powder blue dresses. They look at him coquettishly.
They watch him with the pale intensity of a Tim Burton doodle.
Hi.
Hi.
Danny. Don't look over here, Danny.
What?
Do you
I
wanna...
am looking.
What?
No, you go.
Do you want to throw a dart through our incorporeal bodies?
No, I don't want to throw a dart through you. You die.
No, you can. Oh, that's funny that you would say that. Try it.
Okay.
No, don't try it.
What?
We all float down here, Danny.
What?
The girls both turn into matching horrendous clown monsters.
Borp, 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 borp.
Bo, jeez! Danny, let's get out of here.
Danny's finger has already run out of the room. Danny scampers to catch up.
The clown monsters evaporate into mist behind him.
Hi, I'm Miss Behind Him.
See you later.
A smash cut. Outside the hedge maze, we see Ullman, spry and quick moving for a man of his girth and age, is leading Jack and Wendy just around the perimeter of the hedge maze. It is huge.
As men of the world, I'm sure that you have heard of how terrible Indians are.
Of course. They were known as the Plague of the West.
And they're the cause of 90% of our modern hauntings.
Hauntings? Give me a break, Ullman. I'm a man... Oh, okay, I'll let you laugh for a while. I'm a man of letters. I don't believe in spooks, gooblies, or goblins. Wendy is terrified at the mention of ghosts and is shivering to herself behind a light pole.
Well, I hope you never have reason to believe in them, Mr. Torrance. But, regardless, the Overlook Hotel is built on an ancient Indian burial ground. So if you do happen to be stalked through the night by spooks, just remember that they're caused by, people of a different race.
That's good to know. I'd hate to think that any evil that comes later in this adventure was actually due to white people.
Perish the thought.
A little pop-up video for you. This is the second Stephen King book where the haunting is supposedly caused by an Indian burial ground.
Wait a minute.
Pet Cemetery, the whole reason it's supposedly the ghost stuff happens in that is because that's also on an Indian burial ground.
Yes. But I will retort, I don't think in the book they say there was an Indian burial ground. I think that's a Kubrick thing.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is. I think in the book it's just so many moitas happen that the hotel became haunted.
Yeah, I'll let you off the hook this time, Stephen King, as long as you don't make a black man talk in an exaggerated Ebonics patois.
Oh, boy. I listened to the audiobook of Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining.
Right.
It's all about Danny when he grows up, and the Overlook Hotel, like the land that it was built on, is featured in that, and it said, like, it's a bad place, and it just brings bad things to it, which almost speaks to, like, a even more arcane, like, Cthulhuian sort of ancient evil.
He describes it as like a psychic battery of some kind that like feeds off of people that have the shining. So that's both why it like attracts like horrible things and why it like drives people crazy, is because it like needs to feed on psychic energies of some kind.
Basically like a Kim Kardashian, am I right?
Who am I, Kris Jenner?
Wait a minute. Was that the latest Doctor Who?
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ, man.
And smash wipe.
And finally, this is the Gold Ballroom and Lounge. Now, in its heyday, the 1920s, the Jet Set used to have hot orgy parties. At midnight, they'd take off their tuxedos and just fuck. But now, it's, all dry. There's no alcohol anywhere, and nothing really happens.
Well, that's great, Mr. Ullman. You have no idea what a relief it is to hear that there's no alcohol and no sex parties happening anymore.
Yeah, I'm so relieved I could just die.
Jack
Jack
stares at
says-
Wendy for an extended moment, stroking a baseball bat that he's holding behind his back.
Okay. Well, this is the chef of the hotel. And he'll give you a tour, or whatever chefs do. Mr. Halloran,
Hello.
arise!
Hello, it's me, Dick Halloran.
Whoa, what a voice on you. Outside of this occupation, you must be a famous scat singer.
No, I can understand why you would say that, because it's the 1970s and I am a black man, but no.
Oh, I don't see color.
Okay, Mr. Ullman.
Cataracts.
Mr. Ullman melts into the floor for a moment.
Oh. It hurts every time.
Anyway, hello, I'm Dick Halloran. Jack, is it?
Dick Halloran!
And Wendy?
You're damn right.
Wow, okay.
Wendy looks at Mr. Halloran with little cartoon hearts in her eyes. The first kind adult man she's ever encountered.
Dick Halloran, who stands 6'5" and is 189 pounds of solid muscle.
Whoa. Even though he has like wild bowed legs, probably from breaking in all those wild horses in his youth in the Western Picos.
Anyway, why don't I show you guys around the kitchen?
Yeah, boring. I'm gonna go, like, set up my typewriter. Wendy, you go look at all the foodstuffs.
Okay, why don't you go fuck yourself and I'll show your wife around.
Good idea.
Dick and Wendy walk off in the opposite direction as Jack scampers under a end table.
Smash cut. The kitchen. The kitchen is legitimately huge. It's like a giant industrial kitchen. Which makes sense, because they have a lot of guests to feed. Dick Halloran walks Wendy and Danny, who has joined them, through the kitchen like a proud king showing off his kingdom.
I don't know if I could do Halloran's actual... Here's the thing that jumps out to me.
Yeah.
Dick Halloran in the movie has a
AKA
cool... Who's the actor that plays him?
Scatman Crothers.
Scatman Crothers. Has like a cool, just kind of raspy voice, and he kind of sounds like, "Hello, Mark, it's me, Dick Halloran."
Yeah.
He almost has the necromancer voice, which I'm worried, first of all, would hurt me too much, and second of all, would just turn into the necromancer. But it's funny that Scatman Crothers, the actual human being, has just like a normal human voice, and then if you read the Shining book, like Stephen King has just written, so the references we've been making is that Dick Halloran in the book is just speaks in the most exaggerated, like, ebonics that you have ever read in your life. Like, in a way that no human being has ever spoken outside of a racist's, like, wet dreams.
Yeah, unless you've read Stephen King's The Dark Tower 2, in which case you'll encounter a black character who King, admittedly, in the book says, this isn't how a real person speaks.
No, and that's the whole thing. He'll do that sometimes, too. There is, if you've read his Mr. Mercedes series, anyone, he has a 15-year-old black teen in that book who, for some reason, he even points out, he's like, sometimes this black teen likes to talk in an exaggerated Stepin Fetchit voice. And it's like, Stepin Fetchit was a character from a 1932 radio play who no teen would ever have heard of. And you just want an excuse to make him talk in an exaggerated, like, oh, Mr. Blip, 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 voice.
Yeah, that's, now that I think about it, one of the characters in It is always doing, like, a pickaninny, like, minstrel show voice.
Yes,
character.
Eddie,
yeah.
He will never put a black character in one of his books that he does not find an excuse to do, like, a, like, racist caricature at some point and be like, but he was just having fun pretending to be a racist caricature. Anyway, S. King.
All right, so what you're saying is you want me to do the racist voice. It's okay, Andy. I'll take this one.
No, Dick is gonna just talk in a cool voice from now on.
Hello, it's me, Dick
Jesus
Halloran. Anyway, we got all sorts of ice creams and
You know, whatever you could want to eat. It's okay, Andy. The president has told us we need to be really angry at Mexico for some reason.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
It's weird. I think nowadays, like, Mexico has become America's, like, scapegoat. There's all this rhetoric from Trump about, like, how dangerous the Mexicans are. And I'm like, is anybody afraid of the Mexicans anymore?
Did you...
Like, is that even a thing that people feel?
Yeah, it is a funny thing. It's like we've somehow, I mean, this is something that I think we all as liberals are kind of on the same page in terms of, like, this is stuff that we were making fun of like 10 years ago about how politicians used to whip us up into a fury about illegal immigrants. And now it's like just happening for real and everybody's like on board with it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I feel like we've really had a breakthrough here, Mark. We should tell some folks about this.
Yeah, you know what, guys? We're scrapping Muffed Movies. This is,
Well, hello there, Danny.
hello there. I'm Danny Torrance. Who are you?
I'm Dick Halloran. I'm the chef here.
You know what, Dick Halloran? Even though we've just met, you have the charm of a man who has been performing music for all your life.
What a kind thing to say, but no, I've just been a humble chef here, and well, at other places. You know, I work at the Overlook here in the summer months, but there's nobody come up here between October and, let's say, late May. It's almost like Chicago.
The musical? Oh, God, I love musicals. That's why I named my invisible friend Tony.
Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? Do you know that one, Danny?
No.
And all that jazz.
I'm into Rent.
But you just fucking said that you were having some fun with old Dick, huh?
Yeah.
You know,
I'd like to have some fun with old Dick as well.
We call him Doc, Mr. Halloran.
Oh, really? Seems like we were having an A to B conversation then, but
But you just left that one open, and I decided to slam dunk.
Hey, why don't you leave me and the boy alone for just a second, Wendy?
Okay, oops, there goes my shirt.
Yeah, sure, that's great. Why don't you show the potatoes over there?
Wendy exits the kitchen, leaving a trail of, sex stuff behind.
Could you not figure... Just racking your brain for, like, sex...
I was going to say a trail of negligees, but it's like there's one negligee and then you're done.
You could have said a trail of negligee. Maybe she's wearing, like, Dance of the Seven Veils style multiple layered lingerie.
We're all familiar with Dance of the Seven Veils.
You guys know.
The latest in Victoria's Secret's Ancient Tales line, the Dance of the Seven Veils.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah, I remember who was who now, yeah.
It's me,
Yes,
Dick
Mr.
Halloran.
Hi,
Hey, why
Mr.
don't you
Halloran.
read my lips, Doc?
And Dick stares Danny dead in the eyes, his mouth pursed, fully closed. And he looks at Danny, and Danny hears very, very clearly inside his mind,
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Ah! And he screams and punches Dick Halloran in the cheek.
Ow!
Dick's false teeth fall out.
Free!
Oh, no, you don't. Mr. Holman grabs them and chucks them back to Dick Halloran.
Well, thanks there, Mr. Oldman. I thought I was going to have to get out the old butterfly net.
Oh my God! You just Oh my God! You just brain blasted me, Mr. Halloran.
Yeah, and I'll do it again. That's what we call the shining, Danny, and I could tell you had it from the moment you walked in here.
Really?
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself having bad dreams about things that you couldn't possibly have ever seen before? Or knowing things before they happen, Danny?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you ever look at a woman and you just know what she would be like in bed, and it's almost like you don't even have to go home with her because you know what that would be like, and it kind of skips the hassle?
Well, I mean, that's really easy for me, because a woman would always just be lying in bed sleeping.
And she'd be lying out of bed, wouldn't she, Danny?
Tony laughs along with Dick Halloran.
Dick high fives Tony.
A small hand sprouts out of Danny's index finger. Boom!
Smash cut to later on in the kitchen. Dick and Danny have been talking for a good long time about this psychic power they both share.
We can see their drinks are both 3/4 of the way done. Danny's milk and Dick's dragon's milk.
Now I have to drink this so that I don't die. I'm over 1,000 years old at this point, Danny.
Wow.
But you'll get there.
So, look, my parents know that I shine, but I'm not supposed to talk about it.
And why is that?
Well, it makes them freaked out, and also Tony discourages it.
Yeah, I don't want this guy flapping his gums about all our secrets. But don't go showing your money all over town the day after, you know?
Ha ha ha! I know what you mean, Tony. Snitches get stitches, am I right?
Tony, now terribly bruised from repeatedly high-fiving Dick Halloran.
Dick, can we cut the shit? I need to ask you something.
Now, where did a little boy like you learn a word? Oh,
Dick looks at Tony again and cuts that question off midway through. What's the question?
Has anything, like, real bad happened at this hotel?
Oh, my goodness, yes. Yeah, a lot of shit has happened. What do you want to hear about?
We see the camera zoom into Dick Halloran's pupil and get a montage of all the horrible things that have happened at the Overlook Hotel.
Smash wipe even later in the kitchen. And then there were these two broads, and I don't know, I lost track of them, and they just started cutting up on each other for some reason. We went up there, and there was this screaming, and there wasn't much of left when we got there, just blood all over the walls, and they were chewing on each other's shoulder blades. That was 1998.
And also, somebody, as a prank, put a dead lady in a bathtub.
Whoa, Mr. Halloran, I didn't want to hear any of this.
Yeah, that was room 237. Room
No!
237,
Don't
Danny.
tell me.
Now listen, Danny, I know you're thinking about room 237.
Well, I can't
and
not think about it now. You told me.
Look, Danny, there ain't nothing in room 237.
Wait,
So
you just told...
Stay out. That's go up to the second floor by the main stairwell, take a left.
Dick
and it
presses
is-
a room key into Danny's hand.
It's the third door on your right.
You take this room key and you throw it as far away from you as you can. Put it in your pocket for now, and then when you have a moment, go bury it somewhere or throw it out because I don't want you going in that room.
That room again is 237.
If you forget where it is, here's my cell phone number.
Smash cut. A month later. In the bedroom.
In the bedroom, Wendy's serving breakfast.
We see the optimistic face of Wendy Torrance bringing in a gigantic platter of breakfast in bed for her hubby. She sets it down next to Jack's sleeping form. He slowly rises.
A foot above the surface of the bed.
Meow, 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 meow. Jack! Jack!
Ah!
What is it, Wendy? I was having that dream again.
The one where you ate your pillow? Wait, I always get that wrong.
Yeah, and then when I woke up, this marshmallow was gone.
Pretty good. Anyway, I made your eggs sunny side up just like you like.
Thanks, bitch. But I don't like eggs anymore. I'm a
What?
raw meat man now.
Oh. Hey, you should have seen this Las Vegas show that we saw called Beat the Beatles. It was great.
Yeah, sounds real classy. Anyway, if you don't mind, Wendy, I'm gonna get back to typing out the next world's greatest novel.
You know, Jack, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You've been staying up late and sleeping in, and I don't hear a lot of writing going on
from you and your typewriter. I mean, do you have any good ideas?
Wow, Wendy, it's weird that you, a woman, would be asking me if I have any good ideas.
I guess I'm just interested in your work is all.
Did you ever hear of infinite jest?
No.
Oh, boy.
Jack
Mr.
rolls.
Ullman rolls over in bed and laughs with Jack.
Now this will be my last day here at the Overlook with you.
Oh, come on, just one more.
No, I am afraid I must go to my other hotel that I manage in
Transylvania.
Bleh.
Ah, jeez, I'm gonna miss you, old roly-poly-oly.
Well, I'll eat these eggs before I go. You don't have to say goodbye to me just yet. But if we could have an A to B conversation, Mrs. Torrance.
Yes, it's me, Mrs. Torrance.
No, I mean me and your husband.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'll just fuck off, like all of you are really strongly implying with your tone.
Wendy leaves the room and sees Danny wandering around in the colossal lobby of the Overlook. Hi, Mom.
Oh, what's the matter, little guy?
Nothing. It's just Tony was explaining some stuff to me that made me feel real uncomfortable.
Oh, Tony. Listen, Danny, there's a beautiful hedge maze outside that we haven't even gone into. Hey, I'll race you there.
Okay, Mom. Seems like you have a head start because you're a full-grown adult, but I got these little boy's legs, but whatever.
Shelley Duvall stretches her giant gazelle-like legs and takes the field 3 strides at a time.
She leaps over the 6-foot hedges and rolls on the other side.
Okay, so I guess I'll see you when you get out of there.
You're gonna have to be faster than that to keep up with me, champion gymnast.
Okay. Danny kicks the dirt.
Wendy races off into the depths of the hedge maze, cackling.
But what will she find in the center?
Tuesday!
Oh, whoa, Tuesday. The second floor halls of the Overlook Hotel. Ew, what disgusting carpet. It's like crazy octagonal 1970s, like orange and burgundy and ugh. But you know what? That doesn't stop young Danny Torrance from driving his 1970s big wheel scooter around.
Do you guys remember
like,
Big Wheels?
Big wheels were the shit.
Yeah, Big Wheels were awesome.
And Danny's big wheel is like legit. It's like made of iron.
Danny stops in front of room 237. Don't go in there.
What?
Don't ride your big wheel through us. We're intangible. You would go right through us.
What? Danny turns around and he sees the memory of the girls from the game room.
Hi.
Just what?
You keep saying what like we're not being clear, but I think you can hear us. Are you just nervous to talk to a pair of girls?
Well, yeah, but also, it's you're real creepy. I thought that you two left when the building closed for this winter.
We weren't allowed to because we live here forever because we're intangible spirits.
Huh? You're really not burying the lead on this one, are you?
Do you want to come play with us forever?
No, girls are gross. Danny throws the key to room 237 that Dick Halloran burned into his palm. It flies towards the girls. Oh no, iron! And shatters one of their spectral faces with the holy metal of iron.
The other girl hisses and backflips down the hallway at a faster speed than a human being should be able to run.
Holy shit.
Hey, what happened? I just woke up over here.
Tony says, coming out of Danny's pocket.
Ow! Danny reacts to Tony coming back to life. I saw those girls again, Tony.
Oh, geez, you didn't wake me up? Bagoon!
You know what you're like when you're hungover.
Yeah, I do.
Smash wipe!
Hey, let's take a small pause.
What are we, 2 cats?
Pretty good. I find that the quieter I can say pretty good, the more scathing it is.
Smash cut!
Meanwhile, in the Colorado room, which, hold on for a second.
Okay.
The Colorado room.
Yeah.
At a hotel in Colorado? Come on, you guys.
Yeah. I know.
Wendy wanders in with a sandwich, the Kraft single on some Wonder Bread, Jack's favorite.
For once, we see Jack Torrance typing away at his Selectric. I don't know what typewriters are. I'm young and hip. At his Pioneer old-fashioned number 2 teletype electric typewriter. He is just whacking them keys away, that he doesn't even notice Wendy's approach until she is hovering over him.
And the Tommy
mid-sandwich.
knockers snuck up behind the woman.
Jack.
And
Jack.
Oh. Wendy.
Jack flails his arm in surprise and shatters the sandwich as though it were a piece of glass.
Oh, Jack, that was the last of the winter bread.
What? Are you serious? With
Yes,
that
we're
huge
all
kitchen
out.
and storeroom?
Yes.
How much bread have you been eating?
No, you made the bread for it, remember? Because you said that it helped you with your process?
Ah! Jack looks out the window and sees a moldering, sagging construction made to look like an igloo out of bread.
That was my Les Miserables.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to understand, Wendy. It's a smart, rich guy reference. Jack turns to the camera and winks at the audience, who chuckles and applauds in appreciation.
I say.
Wendy, can we lay some ground rules? The love of my life, my angel.
Sure, Jack. You could just like take it down a notch, because you're kind of frightening me.
Sure, I'll take it down a notch. Jack,
He takes the clown from It and pulls it off of one of the many spikes coming out of the walls and lowers it one notch. We all float down here, Jack. Don't forget it. It's me, Pennywise.
Yeah, quiet, Pennywise. I'm talking to my beautiful wife for a second.
Hello, I'm Tommy Knocker. Did somebody call me? Don't mind me over here. I can entertain myself.
No, Tommy. We're fine.
Jack licks his lips and advances on his now frightened wife.
If this is about, like, breaking your concentration when you're writing, I guess...
You guess? You guess, Wendy? Do you think that when you guess that you got it right, do you think you pulled the correct answer out of that little head of yours? Do you think that you managed to win the old Powerball jackpot, Wendy?
I suppose I didn't, Jack.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd say you didn't, Wendy. So why don't you let me lay out some rules for the both of us? What do you think?
Okay.
How about
Sure.
if you're wandering around outside on your little tippy toes, if you hear me tippy tapping away in here, Wendy, and Jack mimes typing with his hands in midair as if Wendy is incapable of understanding the words coming out of his mouth, like Jackie Chan was incapable of understanding the words coming out of Chris Tucker's mouth.
Yeah,
If you hear that, what?
Yeah, Rush Hour.
I'm not
One
familiar
of
with
Stephen
it.
King's finest novels.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my hands? Jack Torrance shouts at his wife at the top of his lungs, his bloodshot eyes bugging forward.
I understand, Wendy screams in terror and dismay, and limbs akimbo scurries out of the room and back into their family suite.
I say, old fellow, that's not cricket. You're a little bit hard on the little woman, don't you think?
Quiet, my own penis. Smash cut. It's like effortless how good I am at this.
You still got it. You're like a modern day Stephen King of comedy.
Thursday. The Colorado room again.
I think that we're not pointing out that, like, when we say Thursday, that's, what's his name? Who's the boy who directed this movie?
Oh, that's a young boy, Stanley Kubrick.
I know that's, like, the fourth time I've asked that, which would probably make Stanley Kubrick, like, turn over in his grave. Is he dead?
Yeah.
We got him.
Oh, yeah. He's dead as a doornail. I think
Anyway.
he died after Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, he died, after making Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah, he died from erotic.
Asphyxiation.
Thank you.
Because he choked on this dick! Anyway, every time we say Thursday in that tone of voice or whatever, there's a big old fucking pretentious, like, card.
Title card.
Title card is the word. So just pretend like that happens and it's supposed to be scary, I guess. Anyway.
Yeah, it's always like ding, like the Law and Order sound.
Dunk dunk. Thursday. We're back in the Colorado room.
Thank God.
A bull's head turns to Jack Torrance.
You're not looking so good, Jack.
Jack shushes the head with one finger and intensely stares out the window, dead ahead, in that way where you tilt your head down and kind of look through your brow at whatever is in front of you, which if someone took your picture or put you on a movie poster would make you look like an evil bad guy. That's what he's doing.
Like the Jack Nicholson face.
Oh, yeah. J-face. And as he does this, we hear the mounting and tense, ominous music playing on the score, which can only indicate... Which can only indicate that Jack is receiving a psychic puppet show by the Overlook Hotel's evil energies.
Jack's lips begin to move along with the melody.
The weirdest thing is that Jack has never heard The Entertainer in his life.
Does that mean that he's never seen The Sting, one of the finest pieces of cinema of the 1960s?
Quiet down there, Green Mile.
Oh, I know when I'm not wanted. It's me, Green Miles, the housekeeper. I'm sorry, the ghost housekeeper. I guess I'll just dissolve into ectoplasm again, shall I?
Green Miles cleans himself up after he dissolves into ectoplasm.
I can't think of any other Stephen King titles that also work as people's names that aren't actually people's names.
I mean, Green Miles isn't a person's name, but it works.
Yeah.
Tommy Knockers.
Pretty good.
I'm Night Shift. I've ridden upon my steed.
Smash wife!
The radio room. Hey, did video kill the radio room?
No, it didn't. Wendy speaks into her ham radio set. Now that's a big 1-9er, Big Ben. You want to give me a 10-1-9 on that?
This is Big Ben, and thank you for tuning in, by the way, Wendy. I think more people need to know that the Earth is flat and hollow at the same time, and ham radio is the only platform that a civic-minded individual like me has.
Now, thanks a lot, Big Ben. Now, you said you had about 45 minutes of stuff that you wanted to tell me about women?
Yeah. Pretty women. Fascinating. Sipping coffee.
All of a sudden, there is a sharp... and the switchboard goes out completely. Wendy flips switches to no avail.
Danny, using his psychic eavesdropping ability, goes, "Aw, man." The first musical he'd have been able to listen to in several weeks.
Hello? Hello, Big Ben? Hello?
This is the park ranger. I'm sorry.
Big Ben's Conspiracy Ham radio show is over, but this is Park Ranger. Coincidentally, my name is also Ben, and I am rather big.
Okay, Ben. Listen, this snowstorm outside is really picking up. Do you think that we should maybe come down out of the Overlook Hotel here? Because we're kind of alone up here.
Oh, good one, Wendy. Good one. Listen, Wendy, here at the park ranger station, we are just up to our armpits in snow. I'm going to tell you something else. These park rangers, they're some rough and tumble hombres. Okay, these are big boys. These are fellas. They like to eat a lot. They like to swear with a curse. And they haven't seen a woman in about 6 years, Wendy. So you want to stay put right where you are. In fact, you might want to get even further from the ranger. I'm drunk. The ranger station.
Hey, man, who are you talking to?
Hey,
Oh, shit.
Shut up. I'm going to punish you again by fucking you. Anyway.
Wendy abruptly shuts the radio off.
Hey, you got any kids?
She shuts the radio off again, realizing that she missed the power switch the first time.
She puts the radio into a small casket that is sitting open next to the radio that says, in case of radio emergency. She sticks it in, nails the casket shut, and then slides it into the incinerator room. Oh, thank God.
Smash wipe.
Oh, boy.
Danny, riding his big wheel around now with a dead look in his eyes. He has obviously been doing this for a while. Comes around a corner and spots the 2 young girls he saw earlier.
Girls!
That's right.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, Danny. You want to come over here and give us a kiss? Good luck.
Okay, first of all, even if you were real girls, like
You're real girls.
You're real girls?
How dare you say that to us?
I'm of the age where I still think girls are like an alien race.
We're an alien race.
What?
We could turn into clowns or whatever. Sometimes we talk in stepping fetching voices.
Oh, no, I don't need any of that.
Come over here, Danny. Try and put corn into our mouths. You'll find it will fall straight to the ground because we're ghosts.
Okay, listen, ghosts. I've had it up to here with being haunted by you. Now,
How's the hand going? You didn't even hold your hand up when you said that.
okay, look, I've had it up to here. Danny pulls his hand out of
Hey,
his pocket,
broads!
unleashing Tony.
Now this is what I like to get up for in the morning.
Oh no. I don't like a sexually aggressive finger. I'll see you later. One of the twins just bolts.
I'm okay with it.
Hey, all right. Let me just slick my hair back over here.
Oh boy, I don't want to watch.
Danny closes his eyes, and suddenly he is hit with a psychic revelation of the vision that the girls were the old groundskeeper's daughters. Danny sees their dead, dismembered bodies covered in blood and an axe lying right next to them. It's like a it's like a hideous parody of the famous puppet show that Mr. Ullman performs in Steppenwolf Theater garage space every Thursday and Friday night at 7.
Danny, you're really fucking cock-blocking me here in front of the goyles.
No, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. This isn't happening.
What are you talking about?
Girls, they're not real. Danny opens his eyes again, and all the girls are gone.
Yeah, you figured it out, huh, kid?
Yeah.
Figured it out actually absolutely the worst time for old Tony, hey!
Tony, come on. Realistically, what were you going to do? They're little girls.
Yeah, but, I mean, they said we was gonna be up here forever with them, so eventually they's gonna be of legal age, and that's when it's old Tony's time to shine, eh?
Tony, use your head, okay? They died at the age that they are at now, and they're going to stay that way.
You mean to use my toy knuckle? I'm a finger kid, I live in your mouth!
Danny bites his finger.
Dake!
Monday. Smash cut to the Torrance family's suite in the Outlook Hotel. We got there.
That one came with a prize.
Danny is playing the home version of Don't Wake Daddy. Danny is on a stealth mission to be as quiet as fuck and get his toy out of Daddy's room.
Hey, Danny boy.
Ah! Danny
Thought you could sneak up on your...
Danny drops from the ceiling. The suction cup hands fall askew.
Jack lassos him with a lariat of rope and pulls him across the room towards him.
Ah! Danny claws at the carpet.
Thought you could sneak up on your old gunslinger paw, huh?
Oh.
Well, just remember that you'll never be able to kill me.
What?
You heard me. I love you so much, kid.
Also, what?
What?
What did you say?
What did you say? You hang up first.
Richard Dreyfuss on the other side of the bedroom is speaking into the phone.
What?
The phone is dead, Dreyfuss. Give it a rest.
Oh, well, sorry, fellas. Sorry if I woke you up by talking to all these girls, but I guess I'll head on up to Canada to visit my long-term girlfriend.
Dreyfuss hops on a snowblower and heads off for the Canadian border.
Is he like a modern wintertime version of a Harry Potter student? Like riding a snowblower like a...
I view him more as like that straight story guy who went across the country on riding lawnmower. So he's just going to take like a year and a half to get up to Canada.
My story would be made into an episode of fairy tale theater.
Smell you later. I hope to be played by Shelley Duvall.
So anyway there, Dano. Jack Torrance grabs Danny and puts him in a headlock and then kisses his head. I'd never do anything to hurt ya. Don't you know that? Did your bitch mom tell you that I was gonna cut you both up with an axe? Good idea. Well, I never would, 'cause I love you too much.
Jeez, Dad. No, she didn't. What a weird, methinks the lady doth protest too much style situation.
What?
You know, from Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah, of course I know that. Of course.
Jack punches himself really quick in the nads.
And scene. Wednesday. Hallway. Smash into the hallway, kids, because Danny's playing with his toys there. Suddenly, a tennis ball rolls into the middle of Danny's semicircle of toys.
Hi.
What? Tennis?
It's me, a tennis ball.
Stephen King's scariest novel.
The tennis ball swivels a pair of googly eyes towards Danny.
What do you want, tennis ball?
Oh, I just want you to put me back where I came from, right in there.
Danny looks across the hall, and room 237's door is ajar.
Inside, there's a scary-looking furnace, like the one in Kevin McAllister's basement, that opens its mouth and says,
"Oh, come in, Danny. Be our guest."
"Smash wipe."
To the boiler room. This is the only time in the movie we see the fucking boiler room, because it doesn't play any role in later events in the story in Kubrick's version.
In Kubrick's version, he's like, who gives a shit about the boiler room?
The boiler room
Who's Stephen King?
is the fucking gun on the mantle of the novel.
The Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I meant. I always think Hedda Gabler.
Oh boy. Do you always think Hedda Gabler?
Every goddamn minute.
Oh dear. Oh my. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh
Wendy
no.
Runs out of the boiler room where she was impotently twisting knobs and fiddling with switches.
Shoveling coal into the hungry mouth of the boiler.
Thank you.
At the, like, uncomfortable mutters and groans that Jack is yelling from up in the writing room. She makes 3 huge gazelle-like strides and lands in the Colorado room, where Jack has been sleeping at his writing table. Jack, wake up. You're having a dream, I assume.
Oh, hey, wow.
Oh my gosh, Wendy.
What happened?
That was the most horrible dream I ever had in my life.
Describe it to me.
I dreamt that after everything we talked about, and after I repeated myself a million fucking times, that my wife came in and interrupted me again while I was trying to write.
No comment?
Wendy!
Oh, no! Wendy scrambles towards the exit when she knocks, boof, suddenly into her baby boy, Danny. Danny stands like a zombie, totally traumatized and mute, staring dead ahead. Wendy looks at Danny's ripped shirt collar and sees bruising all across his neck, as though someone had throttled him with the viciousness of an undead grip.
Jack, what the hell is this? What did you do to Danny?
Boys will be boys,
Oh!
says Richard Dreyfuss.
Wendy grabs Danny and races out of the room, away from the two men. Smash
way
wipe!
to go, Dreyfuss,
Yeah,
Smash
way to
cut.
go, drivers.
says the boiler. Smash cut. The hallway. We see Jack, pissed off, muttering to himself, walking through the halls, when suddenly he notices the Gold Room Lounge, that old empty ballroom and bar that old Mr. Oldman showed him long ago. There seems to be a familiar scent in the air, and Jack is lured by it. He walks in and sees the bar is lit up. Jack sits down at the bar, rubs his temples, and then does a funny little improv routine to himself. Gee, Lloyd, good to see you again, old bartender. If I was still a drinking man, I sure would go for a nice bourbon on the rocks right now.
That
Suddenly,
sounds
Lloyd...
great.
Sorry.
That
Suddenly,
sounds great,
Lloyd-
Mr. Torrance. If you stop interrupting me, Mr. Narrator, I could get a drink for the famous big shot author over here.
Jesus Christ! Jack's eyes bug out as he sees the imaginary scene partner he was talking with has now become visually available.
That's right. I'm on the market and I'm looking for people that are looking to hang out and spend time together. But I'll say this, Mr. Torrance, you're not exactly my type. Bourbon and soda, was it?
Yeah, thanks. How much do I owe you there, Lloyd?
Oh, no, that's on the house. The Haunted Overlook Hotel has paid your tab, Mr. Torrance.
Okay, this'll maybe come up again. I'm weirdly into trying to pay for these drinks that obvious ghosts are giving me.
You're not allowed to. We only want one thing from you, Mr. Torrance. But I think you know what that is, huh?
I'm starting to get a sneaking suspicion, Lloyd.
Mr. Torrance, tell me one thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that maybe your wife is a real pain in the ass?
Do I ever not think that is the real question, Lloyd?
It's the 1970s, so maybe the audience is supposed to agree with us at this point.
They both turn to the camera.
But behind them, just out of frame, we see Wendy entering the room.
Jack?
Yeah, what is it, Wendy?
What you doing?
I'm talking to myself, obviously. Jack turns
Jack-
to Lloyd, the imaginary bartender, and tips him a wink. You're not allowed to tip me, Mr. Torrance, and that includes tipping me winks. Now why don't you take that wink and give it to your bitch wife? Maybe it'll calm her down for a second.
Jack, cowed by Lloyd's authority, slinks off of his bar stool, crosses the ballroom floor, and then resentfully winks at Wendy.
Oh, thanks, Jack. That really calmed me down.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. So, do you have something you wanted to tell me, or did you just come in to, like, step on my dick some more?
No, Jack. Danny said that there's some... He told me what happened. He told me that you didn't do anything to him. He says there's some sort of crazy woman in the hotel.
You know what, Wendy? I think there is a crazy woman. Look, she's right through there. Jack points across the ballroom floor at the giant mirror wall.
What? Is it you?
Hold
You're the
on.
crazy woman?
Jack races across the ballroom and pulls the curtain all the way open so that Wendy can see herself in the mirror as well.
Oh, I get it.
now?
Oh, okay, it's me. Yeah. No, Jack. First of all, fuck you.
All right.
Smash wipe.
Miami! Welcome
Dick Halloran.
to Miami. Dick Halloran!
Dick Halloran wearing a Hawaiian shirt and skimpy shorts. Watches a
Yeah.
weather report. Mr. Halloran, help, it's me, Danny.
Danny who?
Mr. Halloran. Danny from the
What?
from the fucking hotel, remember?
Boy. I'm on vacation.
Oh, Mr. Halloran, listen, we're in some real deep shit here, you know? There's some crazy chicks here and somebody tried to strangle us. Bagosh!
Oh, Tony, I know you're in trouble. I'm coming right away.
What am I, chop liver?
Sorry, mini boiler. He throws a piece of coal into the animated mini boiler's mouth, and it dances back and forth in pleasure.
Be all good, be all good.
Smash cut. Room 237.
Knocky knock knock.
All day long.
Hands off cocks and on with socks, room 237.
The door to room 237 creaks open, revealing 1970s decor. Jack looks around with his wolf-like gaze, checking for any crazy women, as Wendy put it.
Anybody in here? It's me, my son. Somebody want to strangle me? What an
Suddenly,
idiot.
From the bathroom, he hears a tiny trickle of water.
Hello? Jack creeps through the door and turns his head around the corner and sees, oh my goodness, a woman?
Woman.
One of the park rangers 70 miles below gets the scent of a naked woman.
He raises his head in a bestial howl, and the park rangers begin charging towards the Overlook Hotel, 70 miles across the deep snowdrifts away.
Oh, hello, says the long, lithe, model-like woman. It seems you have caught me in a bit of a state.
Yeah, geez, sorry to interrupt you. I'm just, it seems that there was a little misunderstanding around, strangling my son.
It's funny you should mention misunderstanding. That is what they used to call me when I was young and beautiful, says the woman as she nakedly leaves the bath and sashays towards Jack.
Well, if you don't mind my saying so, you don't look too bad nowadays either, Jack says, smoothing his eyebrows.
Which have become fully erect. Well, if you don't like... Wait. Fuck.
Miss Massey punches herself in the genitals.
Very good, says Stanley Kubrick. Well, if you like how I look, you'll love how I taste, she says, and slides her tongue into married man Jack Torrance's mouth.
Jack gets into it for a time.
I'm into it.
He catches a glimpse of his own reflection in the mirror and makes eye contact with it.
I can't do it unless I can see myself as well.
He
It's not weird.
He tips himself a wink in the mirror, American Psycho style.
Suddenly, he looks down at the beautiful woman's buttocks and sees that they have turned a putrid black color, and the skin is sliding off the cheeks.
What's the matter, Jack? 2 seconds ago you were completely into me.
Oh no, Richard Dreyfuss?
Get back here. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Jack, terrified, filled with gay panic, escapes, staggering backwards out the door, and slams the door to room 237, locking the key and breaking it off.
Smash wipe. Dick Halloran's home back in Miami.
Dick Halloran is looking into the telephone.
Hello?
The line's dead. Smash wipe.
Hang on, Mark. You're cutting it off. There's another 20 minutes left of that scene.